Yo fam, guys, I have a bunch of new entries I have taken today. I'm preparing for a short squeeze in the market. I want to speak to you around the short squeeze, and I want to speak around why these support buys are super important, especially if you are bullish. So do me a favor, smash a like, subscribe up. I have many altcoins to speak around in the show today, as well as setups preparing us for the next major move. Let's go.
I try and help everyone in my space, and this is what I get. I try and fight the devils, but inside I'm just like 𝗦𝗏𝗘𝗥𝗏. Welcome to Sheldon Show.
How are we doing, guys? Lots to speak around. Let's jump straight into it. So this is the first thing I want to show you guys on Bitcoin. Okay, we are back at support. So for me personally, I have taken longs in the market. Now, there are a couple of new longs I want to speak around today. Now, a couple of accounts that I am trading right now, I've unlocked funded accounts. So I'm trading live accounts right now, which is good. I'm sitting at 153,000. So far, this is a $150,000 account. I paid $1,400 for it. I'm sitting at $3,000 profit. Okay, but I'm kind of in the phase of just building positions. Now, positions we took on yesterday's stream was Chainlink, right? And that's up 28% and 24%. Right, I spoke around ETH. I did retake a new ETH position that I want to speak about in the stream. I've gone long on Bitcoin, I've gone long on Doge, and I'm still long on Solana, right? And there's a couple more that I want to prepare ourselves for. But the first chart I want to show you guys is Bitcoin. We are back on support. So if you zoom out, you'll see we're on this wedge, right? That's kind of accumulation phase that we are playing over here. If you kind of look at the short time frame, psychologic type of views of it, emotions, right? The big panic stages, the capitulation, the anger, and now depression, which means at some point disbelief, right? Hope. That's kind of the place that I'm paying attention here when it comes to that snooze fest where it gets people disinterested last minute and then has a candle out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden markets come back, right? Interest starts to come back in the markets. But then when it comes to obviously levels, right? The important levels that I'm paying attention to now is us being on the bottom support trend line. Secondly, key Fibonacci's from this push to the upside. Remember, on that last push we made over the last 2 weeks, we did get in our first higher high on the daily, right? So from going into this play of lower highs, for the first time we put in a higher high, which means for now I'm looking for the higher low, and the perfect play of where I'm looking for a higher low is here at this area of 0.5 and 618. Now, yesterday I spoke around two scenarios, the one popping through, the other one coming down and testing support. We are now playing the testing of support. So that means as a setup over here, this is my long area, right? This is my stop loss area over here, okay? And I'm preparing for a trade setup and a move up to $69,000 to $70,000. So that is my first trade and setup that I'm showing you guys right now. Is I've gone long on Bitcoin for 1 to 6 to 7 risk to reward ratio, right? There is the position over there, right? With the stops sitting, let's see, my stops are sitting. 63,500, right? 63,300, 63,500. Those are the two stops that I have on my Bitcoin position. So there is Bitcoin in play right now and the trade that I've taken. Then the next one I want to speak around is I want to go around ETH. ETH dropped a little bit lower, a little bit of short-term weakness that came into ETH yesterday. So what we had was we had the ETH dominance drop yesterday to the 200-day moving average. Good sign. We should see some ETH strength shortly, but we're on support. This is where we want to see some ETH strength when it comes to the rest of the altcoin markets. Okay, and when it comes to ETH to Bitcoin, we are still in those major trends of what I'm speaking, and as well as 200-day, right? So it's just important. It's not specific to the USDT pairing, but important things that we want to see backing, and why ETH maybe had a little bit more of a red day yesterday than expected, right? When it comes to the ETH chart, this is the ETH chart. Now, again, if you go through patterns, right, this is kind of, as it stands right now, a pennant in play. Something where it kind of looks a bit bearish is if we get up to there and we don't get through 2040, okay, over there. So both the plays are indicating, the one's indicating a bull flag, which means we are coming up, accumulating and pushing again. Okay, the other is telling us we are in a range, right, in a channel to the upside, which means if I look at it now, we are firstly on the support trend line, very similar to Bitcoin. And secondly, we've hit 618 and we are at the pocket where we want to see a bounce. Therefore, for me, I'm long on ETH. I retook some new positions on ETH. So if we look at my new positions on ETH right now, my entries are sitting at 1878, right? Quite close to where we are right now at 1879. Okay, my stop losses, right, are sitting at 1857. So to show you this over here, 57 is sitting in this area over here. There's my stop loss. Boom. Okay, where I'm looking for a push is I'm looking for a push up to $2,050. Obviously, if we get above that, bigger targets. But that's the trade setup that I'm in right now. Okay, I decided to close my yesterday position and open up a better entry position. Okay, and that is my risk to reward right now, 1 to 6, right, when it comes to the Ethereum position. So that's the ETH trade that I'm in right now. Then I want to speak around Solana, guys. So Sol, we obviously got in a little bit earlier last week. So my entries are sitting around 73.50. That's where my entries are sitting. Okay, but we're looking for new kind of setups, right? If I kind of look at Sol right now, this is what I'm seeing on Solana. So the first thing is there's the breakout. The second thing is this is where support's kind of sitting in this area over here, right? Thirdly, I put the bottom trend line in, and it gives me an idea of where to kind of protect myself. Okay, so would I buy too much Sol right now, specifically on trades? Not as much. I'll maybe be waiting for slightly lower down to the low $75 range with the stop loss at around 73.80. Okay, long-term play, spot play, I still think it's in good buys, right? So all depending on your hold and your risk appetite. So something like this, I'd wait for a little bit lower down. If I did, however, enter in this zone over here, right, you're looking around 2% risk without your leverage, right? Whatever leverage, or if you do put leverage over here. The first play that I'm looking for is a push up to 84 to 85. But like I said, I do see us testing this top of the range over the next couple of weeks, which is close to the $100 mark. So therefore, we come here to my Solana position. Okay, there is my Sol position sitting tight. Okay, I actually want to, on the stream here, update my stop loss. See where my stops are sitting. Okay, there we go. 73.50 is my stop. Where's my entry? Okay, I can move the stop loss slightly up. It's around 73.70. Okay, so there is my stop loss plays when it comes to Solana. Then let's jump into the next plays. The one I want to speak about is Chainlink, right? Chainlink had a really, really good pop from yesterday, right? So we got it perfectly at the right time. It's now popped off. So no new entries on Chainlink just yet, specifically on trades. I do think, however, spot, you need to be paying attention here, that we're starting to break the daily. So something for a nice swing over the next couple of weeks. This looks like a good play. Looks like strength is coming into the markets, or specifically Chainlink. And I'm looking for a push up to around the $12 mark over the next couple of weeks. When it comes to my specific trade setup, I got in over here. So my stops are now sitting in profits. Let's double check that. So a good stop loss right now, specifically on the short-term trades, is around 8.22. Let's see where my stops are on Chainlink. 8.28, cool. Mine are a little bit higher up. So my stops are saying 2.8 over here. Okay, so again, no crazy. I don't think any short-term trades right now. We want to wait for a pullback. Spot, waking up. High time frame, waking up over here. Then I want to speak around a couple of ones to pay attention to, which is hype. So there might be a hype breakout in the next 24 hours, and it looks like a nice setup. So if I look at this here, I got the key trend coming from the top, the 4-hour trend coming through. Okay, and then what I have is I have the secondary play, okay, which is this little flag play that we're sitting in right now, which means that it becomes a very nice setup, okay, when we close outside of this trend. So if I look at this trend here, I want to see a close, basically close to $56, okay, and that will be my trigger point, right? A breakout of here, entry point, stop loss point, okay, and we're looking for push up easily, right, to mid-range, which is around the $63 to $64 short time frame, right? High time frame, obviously it's a little bit difficult to see how crazy this thing, if it's ready to go on its next run. I do think it's a $100 token in the future. But the first play here is possibly a trade scenario from here to the areas around 64, 65, something like this. And then we could possibly push a little bit later on in the year to the upside over there. But short time frame, there is some strength. There is a good trade up that we're seeing over there. I'm waiting for the close, and then I'll execute a hype position. Then the next one that I took today, guys, that's breaking out right now is Dogecoin. So my entries on Doge right now, it's a trade. It's not really an investment, right? I won't be entering much higher than around 707 cents. Okay, stop losses on this, right, is basically sitting at the area of just under 7 cents. Okay, and I'm looking for a pop, a nice pop up. Let's just zoom out here. Okay, this is actually a very nice trade. Right, let me just show you here on daily. I think this is going to be some nice money to be made here. Look at that, guys. Good daily breakouts. So TPs are sitting at around 8 cents, and we have the next ones at 9 cents, 200-day moving average. So this one is one of my favorite setups that I'm seeing today. There's the buys. There's the stop losses, right? And there's the push up there's the risk to reward in the trade that we're seeing. So therefore you come here and you see that I've just now taken Doge positions in the market over here. When it comes to all my positions, my biggest trades right now is Bitcoin. My second one is Ethereum. Second one is Solana. Third one is Ethereum. Then I have Chainlink, and then I have Doge. And that's kind of my sizes that I'm playing with at this point. So far looking good, and I'm preparing for the major squeeze. So to give you guys a quick last update there. Oh, one more thing. This has been my gold journey so far. Guys, anyone that's not, if you're struggling with crypto and you're looking to day trade, right, gold is incredibly good. And if you're not using Bybit, it's crazy. Link below in the description for Bybit sign up. Any EU users, they're coming back there. So opportunity for any Europe users to be a part of Bybit. But this has been the month so far when it comes to Bybit, right? I had a day of basically 55. I won 4.6, 1.3, 1.10, won this. And then I had a small loss yesterday, but this is basically where we've been, right? I started at 13,000 the beginning of the month on the 1st, and now I'm basically sitting at 29,000, right? So that's the journey over there. So far, when it comes to that, I want to remind you guys again, good opportunities when it comes to getting funded accounts right now and catching them before the major breakouts start to happen. You've got 2-step, 1-step, and you've got the express, right? For me, the 1-steps are my favorite. 2-steps are also good. But $99, you unlock a $5,000 package by passing one level. You keep 80% of the profits, and you can trade up to 5x leverage, right? So big opportunities for you guys to not put too much money into the market, but ultimately trade more with more size as markets start to wake up. Last things that I want to show you guys over here is just give you my views on gold and give you guys basically my trade ideas of what I'm seeing there. Gold had a secondary nice push yesterday. So gold is now approaching the 200-day moving average. So right now as it stands, I'm very at this point where gold gets very bullish above this area of 4.5. If not, I see a push down over here and then something like this going in. When it comes to the actual futures market, right, I think it's just going to hover and make a flag, to be honest. I don't think crypto is really caring about it too much right now. So as you can see, not much happening. So there's two plays here. We're either going to push for the high and do something like this, or slightly lower down and then push up. But I don't see us leaving this range, which means I don't see it as a major catalyst on what the markets can do next. Then last thing, guys, we have the Good Morning Crypto. Type in your emails, description. We have newsletters for you guys, right? So these newsletters give you fundamentals every day, and then we have the daily candle giving you guys the best charts we are seeing in the markets. Guys, have a fantastic day. Thank you for watching. Lots of love. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.